right, guys, today we're going to hit another big topic. 99% of entrepreneurs are failures, and here is why. Most entrepreneurs that I've met, or most people that want to get into business, give up very easy. It's easy to say that you're not going to give up, but I can give you 1,000 examples where I have bought companies that have already invested a huge sum of money. They want to get out. They can't take the daily grind of the business. They can't take the financial burden of carrying a business that's not always doing well, or carrying a investment that is losing money. And I will tell you that 99% of the time, those businesses that I end up buying for pennies on the dollar, I end up selling for very big profits, because they're usually right on the cusp of starting to do well. I went through a point of trading where I was buying a stock, I was riding it for a year, and finally I'd sell that stock at a loss, and 2 days later that stock would double and triple. It's really about riding your investments, seeing it through, making it through the tough times. And every time that I have lost money, I've learned something new, and it's taught me a new lesson, which brings me to my next point. Losing money does not mean you're a failure. Losing money is a way of learning. If I look at all the money that I have lost in my life, I consider that as an investment in me as a person, in me as an entrepreneur, in me as a businessman. I have taken away a great lesson from each and every loss, each and every person that has taken advantage of me in a transaction. It has made me a better me. It has transformed how I do business. I think that most people have this negative connotation with losing money, that they failed. I think that you are judged not by how you fail, but really how you get back up. I think that that has been one of the greatest keys to my success. Is I have lost some very large amounts of money. I've lost some very small amounts of money. I've been ripped off. I've invested in the wrong things. But you know what? I went to sleep, I got up the next morning, and I worked even harder to get back what I lost. So failing is okay. If you're doing what 99% of the world is doing, if you're following what 99% of people are telling you to follow or do in books, online, different courses, you're going to be like them. You have to wonder sometimes why a lot of these people are out there selling you their course if they're so successful at what they're doing. Don't forget, all my advice is free. I have nothing to sell you. I have no course to sell you. I just want to help you be a better you. My last point is people really have no appetite for risk. That's the biggest problem. If you have no appetite for risk, if you're unable to make a very big decision in a 1 minute period, then you're not going to be successful. And I say that with the most open heart. I have people that have come into my warehouses, and I've shown them 10,000 pieces of a product that has $1 million value. And I've said to them, you know what? Give me $500, take it, and just get it out. I need the space this week. And they will take 2 weeks to overthink it. People are naturally trained to convince themselves that a good deal is a scam, or a good deal is not a good deal. And people are very good at convincing themselves not to do something. I'll tell you that I've done deals with Macy's where they've called me on a $1 million transaction, and within 10 minutes I've told them yes or no without ever seeing the merchandise, without getting an inventory list, without getting pictures of what it looks like. I knew approximately what the value of merchandise was, I knew who I was dealing with, and I knew approximately what I would get for my money, and I knew that I'd be able to turn it even if I lost a few dollars on breaking a great deal, I'd make it up once I had the merchandise on reselling it. And I'll tell you that 99.9% of people in the world cannot spend $1 million without seeing what they're buying. People can't even spend $1,000 without seeing what they're buying. I'll tell you, my current house that I live in, I never saw. I bought it online. I thought it was a good deal. I looked at market value. I made an offer while living in Los Angeles. When I knew what car I wanted, I walked into the dealer, I signed the papers, I left with the car. If you're not a serious buyer, if you're not a serious person, if you're going to overthink every transaction that you do and every deal that's presented to you, then you're not going to be successful. Sometimes you just need to be a yes man. And I'm going to do a video later on about when it's okay to say no. But when you're first starting out and you want experience, you can do many small transactions without having to risk big money and really develop a knowledge for what you're trying to do and what works and what doesn't work, and sort of develop yourself and develop your skills and home in on what makes you a great entrepreneur. Keep watching our channel. Stay tuned. More videos are coming, and I'm going to transform how you see tomorrow.